IVCSD Special. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. 331. Oh, just me. Looks like just me. Go back to the camera. To the Zoom meeting and see if anybody's waiting to come in. Live on YouTube, and we're recording, and nobody is waiting. We do have a quorum. Who wants to step up and run this thing?
I voted for Susan.
I vote for Roger. You've been here longer than
No.
I have.
I think Susan can handle the job. She's competent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, agenda March 31st, 2022 at 5:04
Fine.
p.m.
Mhm.
on March 31st.
Yes.
Bear with me.
Sure.
Would the clerk call to order?
You're going to call it to order, and I will
Like to
call the
this
roll
meeting to order.
with
Would the clerk please call?
sure,
quorum?
Director Cherry
Here.
and Director Carpenter and Director Dorn.
Here.
We have a quorum. Director Orange is not here, and Director Gorbett is not here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We have the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Oh, we have a Bob Orange in the waiting room.
Oh, he's on.
Our illustrious chair is coming in.
He's coming in on where? There?
He's in on the Zoom.
He's on the news.
Are you there, Mr. Bob? Says he's connecting to the audio, but he cannot hear me yet.
Oh, okay. Shall we wait for him?
Yeah, we're gonna hold just a
And-
second and he'll come on board. I think I hear him now. Mr. Orange, you are
Hello,
there?
Jeff.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So we do have a quorum here in the office, so we've already taken care of a calling roll, called it to order. We have the pledge completed, and now we're going to move on down the agenda.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
So, Mr. Chair, we're going to call for a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. I have a, is Chrissy running it right now?
I have not heard from Director Gorbett.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very good. Yeah. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda as we have it laid out for tonight?
Yeah, Director Cherry made a motion to approve it as it is.
A second.
Okay. And second?
And second by Doran.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And Jeff, I don't know if you got my message. I just now got home from Chico, so I had to
I
come
see.
straight here and I wasn't able to come into the office.
Yeah, no problem. So we're going to move on to the public comment. Just for those that may be on YouTube, I'll go ahead and read that for you, Mr. Chair. Is that okay?
Yes, please do that. Thank you, Jeff.
Because I didn't receive anything in advance of the meeting. If we get anything during the meeting, I will let you know. This portion of the agenda may be utilized by any member of the public to address and notify issues to the Board of Directors on any matter that is on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the IVCSD. Depending upon the subject matter, the Board of Directors may be unable to respond at this time or until the specific item is placed on the agenda at a future IVCSD board meeting in accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act or as decided upon by the board chair. We have no public here in the office, and I see none waning on YouTube either. So we'll move forward.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay, so then we'll go to item number 5, Board of Director, General Manager Action Plan. Chair Orange, Vice Chair Corbett, discussion and action to plan and manage the recovery from the Dixie Fire damages to the IVCSD infrastructure, water, sewer, parks, and lighting, various phases of FEMA and non-FEMA disaster recovery. So basically, update on the district. Anybody have any updates that they want to share or action that's taken place recently? I can, I'll give something real quick regarding the fire department, an update.
Let's go down the list.
Okay, I don't have a work list. Do you have a work list there?
Yeah, I do. I've got an action list in front of me. So let's go ahead and go down what we have here, and maybe you can answer some of the questions if you know more than we do. You probably have had some talks. Have you spoken with Sowers Engineering, with Dean, on the sewer system at all?
I have not.
Okay.
I've not either.
So there's probably very little has been done there, other than I know that we are working on Adam is aware of the legal easement down at Pump Station 3 on Highway 89. That's the Spring Meadow site. And I know that they are wanting to look at some real estate documents concerning that property and what easements may be there. Because as you know, we have an owner who wants us to pay rent for that site until an easement is procured, and his real estate document should tell us some part of a story about what was there when he bought it, as far as the legalities of what's sitting there, or if nothing was disclosed, that might be a problem for him to look at. So that's all we really have there, other than Adam, I know, was in the office and is aware of that particular easement that he's going to do some work on. I don't have any more information on the other ones, other than we continue to pay the rent for I guess it's that PAC, the pump. Is that what we're paying the money for every month? So I don't know how many months we're going to end up keeping that thing. Moving on to 2.
I don't have any further info on that part.
Yeah, I don't either. We'll have to try to see if Dawn's aware of anything more on that one. Number 2 is the water treatment plant. The only action I know that we did there is we have paid the contractor for the temporary building that was constructed up there. And so we have cut that check, and it's here to be signed.
How much is that?
$65,000.
Now, it's a small building,
Uh-huh.
just a shell.
It is, no, it has walls and a roof and I mean, sure, yeah, there's nothing, right, there's components inside, but right, it's not finished. And that will fall under our emergent situation, so we can turn that into FEMA for a reimbursement on, because it was an emergent need. So, but that's all I have as far as water plant goes. I haven't spoken, I don't know whether Adam has either about Dean on anything else on that one.
A note there, when I talked to Adam yesterday, he said he was going to be meeting with Dean tomorrow
I see.
and going over all these projects.
Adam on Friday.
See
Okay.
where he's at on them and try to get a handle on all of them.
With Dean. Okay. Moving on.
Regarding the water treatment plant, I believe they're gonna start cleanup of the plant today.
Who's doing that?
Select Environmental.
I think they actually started yesterday.
I saw the paperwork come through,
No, I talked to the kids that came on the shop yesterday. And I think they started yesterday.
and it's interesting because I still never get a DIR number for the particular job. So I don't know how that is supposed to come through. I did finally get a response from them saying that the registration was already there, but.
Do
I
we
don't
have
a-
copies of all their insurance and bonds and so forth on file?
I don't.
I'm sure that they can get it for you.
Yeah, that needs to be on file, their insurance and bonds and everything before they begin working.
Sure. I
They've already
will.
done some stuff for us, haven't they?
I will send that email out.
Like, you have to do each individual job.
The only one that we have cleaned up that's complete is the one that the state did on that little triangle landlocked piece down by Evergreen Market. That one is complete because the state already came in and knocked those trees down, and that's all they're going to do.
They're also too, they might be starting on the fire department too.
Okay.
I think I saw a select environmental truck over there. outside of that.
So I'll do the email about the insurance and bonds and include the general manager so he's aware of what needs to happen.
You might talk to Adam first before you contact them,
Sure.
because we need to have a copy of each of those and each of those working files.
Sure. Okay.
And are they paying prevailing wages on that project?
Yeah, they have to. They were aware of
See, a
that.
copy of all of that paperwork needs to be included within that file, and it has to be done for each and every job. Even if environmental select had 6 jobs, they have to file
Sure.
bonds for that amount of that contract on each job.
Okay.
Lot of
Sounds good.
paperwork.
A lot of paperwork. Imagine that. All right, Mr. Chair, you ready to move on to number 3, which is the raw water supply line?
Okay, go ahead.
And hydrogeologist, we did receive that report.
We did.
I'll have to check on that. Number 3, we received something about that.
The last time, remember
Okay.
seeing there was something.
Is that
from
what it
Dean
was?
Marsh and his costs breakdowns.
The bid where I will get you a copy of what we have.
Okay.
There's not much more to report on that,
Yeah.
other than I did get a bill from USDA from the Forest Service and contract paperwork to secure the use permit, special use permit
So that's.
from our diversion box down to the plant.
Is that an annual thing?
It is.
I thought so.
And the fee is like $200.
As long as we keep getting it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we have to because they require, for our line to be there, they require that we pay that fee and have that done. And with that also, I brought up the fact that they had made an offer to purchase part of our dam parcel because of the vault toilets up there sit on our property instead of on the Forest Service property.
We would like to lease it.
So I said, well, since we're paying this fee, I said, I kind of wondered what happened to the offer to purchase that little block from us so that you relieve us of those vault toilets. And she said that they understood that the board didn't want to do it and didn't vote on it. And I said, well, that's not the way I understood what happened. Is we never received anything else from USDA Forest Service. So there was nothing more to talk about after that. And so she said they would discuss it some more. And if we wanted to, we could move forward with getting an evaluation of the little piece of property that it is. And then it's not much, right?
But I wonder if do you have to carry liability on that?
We do carry insurance. I don't know that our insurance company knows that there's a vault toilet sitting on it.
Yeah, somebody gets.
How did the Forest Service end up building on private
Exactly.
property?
How did they?
That's a good one.
Because that is the oddest little parcel that you've ever seen. It includes the dam. So it goes it heads over this way. And then it has this big kind of a drumstick on the end of it over here that encompasses most of the vault toilet. So
Yeah, I'd like to know how it ended up being there.
Funny. Just go up and dig a hole and stick a vault in there, huh?
now I tried to get them to purchase the whole thing because that would relieve us of our duties of the dam.
They don't want
They don't want it.
I don't know if that'd be good or bad.
It'd be good. We'd still retain the rights to the water.
Oh, there you go.
They just own the dam.
it. And they get
How long ago was that, Jeff? And they were talking about that. About how long
It
ago?
was 18 months, 20 months ago.
Okay. I don't remember it coming before the board, be honest with you. I really
No,
don't.
never did come to a vote because they never did make a serious offer on it, and it never went beyond some sort of inter-office discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on, Mr. Chair, to number 4, cemetery wall water line supply line. I know Director Doran has maybe a little bit of information to report on this one.
maybe if I can remember it. Huh?
She spoke with
Oh,
Chief Plant Operator
Don
Silva. Mhm.
Yes, yesterday we went and looked at it. He is also of the mind that we need to put this thing, supply the cemetery's water off of Hideaway Road. I think we have substantial good reasoning to do so. And it will cost pretty much the same as it would to do 267 feet of line and new meter and everything. We've still not been contacted by the cemetery district by any means.
We know that their next meeting is April
14.
14th.
If they rebuild their line, then supply them with water, what are they gonna do then?
Yeah, what are they gonna do then?
They're not interested in talking to us, apparently, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, we need to get them to put us on their agenda so we can talk to them, tell them this is what we're thinking, so they can go accordingly.
Right.
Yes.
So we're kind of planning on that April 14th meeting.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to that April 14th meeting.
Oh,
And I think you might want to go too.
Let me know, I'll go, if I can make it.
I'm pretty sure they don't want to do that, but in public interest, coming off of the Hideaway Road to the cemetery is in regards to public safety and less maintenance than say would 267 feet of line, of which plant operator has to go and read the meter once a week and check it. And that's not a good situation for him either, going down that hill.
well, the better resource is to improve the Hideaway line, which serves many customers,
Yes.
as opposed to one line that serves one customer. I just think, yeah, it's a more efficient process to.
It is.
What did
And
Don say it was gonna take to tie in the system?
hot tap,
It's right there.
it's right there,
Just come and bottom.
right in front of
Comes
the
right in-
cemetery,
right in
in
front of them.
front of that gate-in wall.
Mhm.
It's right there.
So what would it cost us? Do we have to pay to get it hooked up to them?
That's a discussion we need to have. I think we need to just,
So we'd have to have a
we need to
contract
go
for it.
back to FEMA on this, explain the situation, show them what the situation and our concerns for public safety of having an exposed line and public safety as far as access to meter reading and so forth, and say, this is a better deal, not only for us, but for the cemetery. They would be better in redirecting their dollars and do coming onto that line. And if they need to put in a pump to fill the reservoir, if that's their wish, so be it.
What reservoir?
They have
Their tanks.
tanks that they're filling off of that line.
Well, they could put a little helper pump and pump up their tanks if they wanted to.
I think we need to sit down with the cemetery district and the engineer from FEMA and go through this and point out, from our aspect, that this is not just supplying water, it's a public safety issue.
Well, plus if they put in a good sprinkling system or have a good sprinkling system, they can alter their zones to cover the pressure. Won't
they can put
fall.
zones on there.
They can zone it and keep the pressure good.
Exactly.
Yeah. As long as they, 5 zones and don't, just alternate your zones when you water.
Yeah, unless they want more pressure, they can put a pressure pump.
That's up to them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Well, sounds good to us, but I don't know if they're gonna go.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's going to cost FEMA a lot less money
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
and the cemetery in the long run.
So are we gonna give them free water for that?
Why would we?
I don't know.
Not free, but probably I think you
Commercial
would.
rates. That's what Chester charges.
Is it?
The Chester PUD charges the cemetery there is the commercial rate.
I mean, are they, we're gonna have to let them know that because they've been getting it for
500 a
500
year.
yeah.
500 a year.
Well, I think that's a discussion and part of using that as part of negotiations and saying, we're going to do this for public safety and negotiate a rate for the cemetery.
Okay.
So I believe that Adam will be talking with Dean Marsh about this project as well.
Okay. Anything you need the chief water operator to know on that anymore at this point in time, or just
Let's
wait
wait and
for
see.
GM to give him direction?
Wait for the GM.
Okay. Number 5, the emergency protection measures. So I did print off all of the pay stubs. So I completed that.
For how many months?
Going back to just the fire.
Okay.
But I can go back to July or June if you guys need more. If they need more.
Let's suggest July.
Yeah, because the fire did start. So time cards, timesheets. I have half of the timesheets. I don't have 100% of them because chief water operator sends his in separate. So I asked Mandy to go ahead and forward me the information for the timesheets. So she'll forward me the timesheet info and I will go ahead and print those. So part of that now is on Mandy to get that information to me,
Okay.
rather than to have to go through my half of them and print them and then go, okay, now we need half, whichever.
I trust you'll coordinate all that.
Yeah,
We'll
it'll
give it
just
to
come as
FEMA.
one file from Mandy. So, okay. What else is on our emergency protection measures? That's about it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about are they gonna still do the donated resources?
For the fire department. So Mr. Orange, what's your plan on that? Were you gonna do the hours?
What we met yesterday, Steve Shotbelt came up from Sacramento yesterday from OES, the fire side of things, and he pulled up his records. And he's going to look. I know we're looking at the time cards and information, all the information we possibly have. Items were not turned in for. Well, I'm backtracking just a little bit on the North Complex. So we're looking to see if the district can get reimbursement from the North Complex, first of all, from the fire a year and a half ago now, because we made payments to firefighters and items like that. So he's looking to see if maybe we can pull that off, and It's 2.5 years later, but we're looking to see if maybe the district could get repaid for that. Now, regarding the Dixie Fire, we believe that we can get reimbursement for an engine and a water tender that we put on, let's see, it was August 15th, I believe, and we went back to July 17th, and we looking at the records, they never had us demob until January 1st. So we're looking at demobbing. I mean, wow. I mean, quite a bit of money in that regard, but that's would not be accurate. It just wasn't demob the way the fire went because we were floating in assistance to the fire. We were never in the incident action plan, but the water tender and the engine floated around the valley supporting the main fire group, and all the engines in the Forest Service and OES that were all here. We might have a very, very good chance of getting reimbursed for 5 employees and those 2 apparatuses during that time period up until we agreed at the time that we would have gone off when we pulled all the hoses off of Taylorsville. We had 3 miles of hose around Taylorsville. So we're researching that this week. Now, as far as the forced labor account, that would be anything above the 5 people that we would have had on that fire for that for several months in regarding that. We'll have to have I'll need about a week to research this further with him. He's going back, he's going to look, be preparing some FC-42s, and we're hoping that we can get the district reimbursed for the cost of the water tender and the engine. Basically, you put together, you're looking at $3,000 a day that the district might roughly, and then the cost of employees. So we're researching that. If we're not able to pull that off, then it would be donated labor to FEMA for the district on that. So we got quite a bit of work to do on that, but we had a very productive 3-4 hours with the gentleman yesterday. That's kind of where we're at on that. So I don't have an update that's my update. We're going to try and get paid for it rather than donated hours for the district up to that 15,000. We have a potential of bringing in a whole lot more money than that if it all works out.
Sure.
The big question, here's the big issue that we're faced with. The fire was in our protection district, and we're responsible for the fire in our protection district. Therefore, it's our responsibility, and it's not our responsibility to the main incident for the Dixie Fire Management Incident Command Team because we were working in our own fire district. That's a big question that we're going to have to answer and figure that out because it's on our district and that's our district responsibility. So therefore, we couldn't bill for that if that's the way it would go. But we supported them, and so we have to show how much we helped their engines and gave water to the engines and acted underneath their direction and control at times. And I'm going to do the best I can to show that we were more working for them than working within our own district.
But you know, when a team comes in and takes over things, they take over initial response to anywhere. So when a team takes over, they kind of take over a lot of things. I mean, that might be the out right there, because when the team takes it over, they're responsible for everything.
We're hoping so, but we were still dispatching. We were still being dispatched to incidents within our fire district and responding to calls from the sheriff's office, and they would page us out for calls. So
Right.
That wasn't underneath the team's responsibility. We were still responding to the sheriff's office, and so that's part of the equation. Is yes, okay, we were paged out to go to this. We were paged out to go here. This pile. When people would call into the sheriff's office, they give us a call rather than going over to the team, and we didn't have communications with them either. So it's an interesting quandary. We just diving in. We're just now diving into it, like I say, for 3-4 hours yesterday, and we'll be talking with Steve some more.
Okay. All righty. We're going to move on then, Mr. Chair, to number 6, the damage to hydrants and meters.
I myself have not had any more conversations regarding that.
So I've been doing the valves, but I haven't been here for a couple of days. And I just have to create a report and give that to FEMA based on the information that I've gotten with Danny and Zukra, and there is still a little bit of work to be done on the valves, on getting the rest of the information for that.
Then we're mapping those valves.
Mhm. And then eventually there will be other work to be done. So I'm hoping that I can take Zukra and Danny with me to do meters this month. And then that way they can map all of the meters as well for the houses that are surviving on the Esri system as well, because some of those are damaged, even though the house is standing. And then hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to get the rest of the meters in the system as well updated and get an update as far as what kind of damages have been incurred as a result of debris removal.
So our next meeting is April 7th, and so you think your valves will be completed by then?
Yeah, so the FEMA meeting, you mean?
No, our special action meeting.
Right, so I think we actually have a FEMA meeting coming up, and I'm hoping to have them finished by then,
For the 5th. Okay.
or sooner.
Okay. Replacement meters, yeah, that 3/4 1 inch. So we'll that will be a subject matter on your April 13th regular meeting where we'll talk about the board will have to discuss pricing for office staff to give customers information on what a 3/4 or 1 inch meter will cost. And if you want to hold to the current rate or do something different, we'll have to know that.
Can you send out an email with those current prices?
Yeah. And it's always in your budget document too. All of our rates and costs, everything's in that budget document.
So just for that item there.
I'll send you
guys-
that
way
particular
we can
sheet.
Look that over before the meeting.
Okay, Mr. Chair, you want to move on to number 7?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, debris removal trees, which is Orange and Gorbit.
I haven't had any, I have no update on that. I know workers for our contractors, like I say, they were, my understanding is they were going to be starting at the water treatment plant. We talked about it a minute ago. And I know that the same worker there is responsible for the trees. I don't know. I guess I better give Jared a call and see where he's at on that. I'll tell you what, I'll give Jared a call tomorrow and get an update on that. I haven't talked to Jared for a while.
You guys, I thought you guys decided that you guys were gonna reply the.
Different
Different.
different contract, different.
The same. Well, why does it say?
Because it's for the debris removal trees at like the water plant,
Okay,
water
so
treatment
not
plant.
for the-
not for the park.
We should put WTP.
Yeah, the park will come up at your next regular meeting because they do have submitted bids
Oh, good.
for that. Okay,
Yeah, the contract has been signed with Jared Pugh for the removal of the trees. That's been signed some time ago.
Right.
It's just been, he gets in there to do it. So that's
Sure.
part's done. Just need an update. We're just gonna get in there and do the work.
sure. All righty. Moving
Wait
on.
a second.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, when you do that, will you be getting a completion date on that, or is there one on the contract?
I don't recall a completion date on that. I don't recall. I mean, we did that actually a couple of months ago when Jared was going to get in there and start working on it when he could with all the other work. That's I'll give him a call and find out when he's gonna get in there and do that work. I don't recall on that on there. I'd have to pull up the contract, take a look.
Okay,
And there again, you would want to get, Director Doran is asking for insurance and bonds, a copy of insurance and bond from the select environmental contractor. So I'm assuming she will want the same for the tree removal.
Okay,
Absolutely.
And prevailing wage on that as well, so. Okay, moving on to number 8 is the debris removal for the building's equipment contents. We have decided, because the truck has no comprehensive insurance, Select Environmental is going to go ahead and remove it from the building and dispose of it, because of it doesn't belong to anybody but the board, the district. So there's no insurance extraction that would have to happen with that vehicle.
Talking about fire truck is in the back.
Yeah. So I cleared that up for Kelly. Anything else on debris removal? We still have in the red there, the DIR number, and I will try to follow up on that again and see what's happening. They said we have the account, so I don't know why they won't just issue a number and send me that information. Coming up on the next one is for the gazebo, and I spoke with Josh of Streetscape Committee, and he said they would have the 3 bids for us, and then he scooched. So I'll have to contact him and see where the bids are. Yep, I'll have to follow up with him and see about the bids, because he said he had 3. So
Yeah. Okay.
moving on to number 10, additional project firehouse. This is obviously where Director Doran and Adam had spoke about their plans to address NST engineering.
Did you get a new?
I have the time for that. That's April 5th at 9:30. They're on the site. Is that correct for the meeting?
I had sent them that request. I haven't received a response from them on that, but if you have, that's great.
I talked to Adam last night, or maybe it was this morning. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I talked to him both times. It sounded like he had received a response back from them that they were going to be coming over here. I believe, I guess I need to confirm. That's what I interpreted, that they were going to come over and meet us on that date.
Okay.
April 5th at 9:30.
Yes.
And they will be here.
On the 5-acre parcel. Yep.
Then I know one of our items, concerns we had, is I did contact after our last meeting, our attorney. I had him review the contract. He was fine with it. The only thing he wanted to put on there or discuss, we discussed further, he wanted to have a cap on it and have what the total amount was going to be, and visit the issue with them on the amounts. In the meantime, maybe other people have more experience on it, but I went on the internet and I did a lot of as much research as I could regarding the cost of the blueprints for buildings in California and then the nation. And basically, kind of a rule of thumb is I see where the cost of the planning and the architecture and the blueprints run about 10% of the actual cost of the building. And it can go quite a bit. In California, it's higher than other states versus Arizona. It can run anywhere from 50% to 200% higher for architectural work because of the more stringent building codes. But for in California, for a 3,000 square foot building that costs $900,000, basically you're looking at $72,000 to $90,000. Now that's for a residence. It's a little bit cheaper for a commercial building, but still the architect fees run 5 to 20%. And so it looks like a rule of thumb is going to be like 10% of the construction cost. So if we have a $2 million building,
Yeah.
potentially $200,000,
Yeah.
potentially.
Okay.
But I heard, the numbers that were thrown around by Chris Myers when they were discussing this whole thing were substantially less than that. I don't know, but this was kind of a wake up call to me of what we might be looking at having to pay for regarding this. What would really help us is the blueprints we were working off of were from an existing building over there in Lassen County. So I would hope that some of that preliminary work and stuff, they could draw from that and just have to make modifications within the office structure within there. So it might be cheaper, but there we go. That's what I've come up with looking at it. And the national average for a 2,500 square foot home, national average is around $40,000 to $45,000 national average for Oklahoma and stuff like that. It's pretty high. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there, and dealing with NST engineering, when we go to deal with the cost and stuff, that's what I'm finding out are the averages.
Adam and I talked about the contract yesterday, and we have quite a few questions for NST when they come to go over that. He and I were both concerned we have no cap on that and so forth. And I guess we'll address all those questions on the 5th.
Yeah, Adam also talked about we'll have a meeting with planning director in the building department and look and see if we can't get some waivers on some certain things that they were going to charge us around the contract, say like soil testing, and see if you can't waive some of the fees on that, or at least we can make a request. If we can, we can drop that off of the contract too.
Yeah, he and I were
we'll just try to do the best we can.
Yeah, he and I were talking about that because that property's already preloaded, so that would cut quite a few dollars off of that contract. But that's something we can all go over then on with NST then on the 5th.
Yeah. Bob, what day and time is your meeting or his meeting with Tracy Ferguson and Chuck White?
I think he was talking potentially this coming Tuesday. So we would have it before our board meeting.
I thought it was Monday, the 10th at 10 a.m. because I was going to go with it.
Okay.
Monday the 10th.
I didn't write it down. I'm just trying to go off my memory. So Susan, you probably have a better recollection of that than I do. So I will defer to Susan on that because I just trying to go off my memory when talking to him on the road.
10 a.m. Okay. It would still be before your next regular meeting. So
yeah,
you can still report back on what happens. So.
Okay.
Yep. So I see in red there, we have the send FEMA email regarding add late project. Was that done? And was that GM Cox that's supposed to do that?
What's the late project?
Because this is the firehouse is a add late project. Is that right?
I don't know.
So there'll be a question there because we have that highlighted in red as to sending FEMA an email regarding add late project. Okay, I will find it. I will inquire. Anything else on the firehouse?
No, not on the firehouse itself. No.
Okay.
No, just the next step is to blueprints and planning, and then move from there. And we will have discussion at our after we get that information of how we want to proceed, is either to have a project manager or a contract out. And that'll be a general discussion item at a meeting.
Right, because then you want to proceed with RFP from contractors. Or, well, either way, even if you do a project manager, you're still going to have the, I think Director Doran is more comfortable, even if you choose project manager, to follow procurement rules for the project manager
Well, we have to for that and for construction.
and for, well, definitely for construction.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
You know,
I know she would want something in writing she's requested it from Einhorn as far as all our sole sourcing for NST engineering. If we can get an email or something in writing from Einhorn to, yeah.
no problem on that. We'll get
Okay.
that, no problem.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, because we need anything that could be questioned, put in a file.
And then one thing, and we'll redouble my efforts on it. We got to move on this as fast as we can. PDH and the ambulance crew are really wanting us to move forward on it, so we got to keep going on it, and we do too. Before the winter comes, we got to keep moving forward and put it, keep our eye on it to go as fast as we can on it.
Well, and I wonder too, where are they staying temporary? Maybe we could also do something and bring something in that would make their temporary housing situation a little bit better situation, so they're not quite so jumpy about, wanting to rush everything.
No, it's not rush. It's just, as long as we don't have any, as long as we're moving forward and we're working on it and we're moving forward and showing progress and moving forward, I think we're absolutely just totally fine. But if we, all of a sudden we reach a point where we're not doing anything, we're not moving forward and making progress or having meetings coming up that are all forward looking, I think we're absolutely fine. But if we start slowing down and, red tape, that would not be good. But we're doing good right now. I keep in touch with Sam Blessy, and he calls me, and I call him, and right now they're perfectly happy with where we're going and trying to get things done, and they know we're trying, and they want to keep their personnel happy and help us out. So we're doing good right now, but we just got to make sure we keep progressing.
Yeah, at the April meeting, they'll see more kind of completion or more progress for that. So
and I am going to have discussions with Einhorn regarding how to move forward on that. He said he would help us with it as far as a project manager or going towards a building and stuff. He has some experience in that area and said he would help us out, and maybe if he's available, I'll even have available during our regular meeting where he maybe put him on speakerphone and we could talk about that more.
Sure.
In fact, I'll confirm that up tomorrow, and we might very well have him being on the agenda item and have that agenda item for next week.
Sure. Okay.
Number 11.
Number 11, I think we kind of already addressed. I don't think there's any new information there. We know we're gonna go to 3/4. We know some are gonna go to 1 inch. We know that some are gonna have to require backflow prevention kind of devices. So depending upon the chemical or if they choose to use water as the suppression.
With that said, Jeff, there might be time to do a newsletter with all the current laws and information that's being required, so people can't say, "Oh, I didn't know." Might be time to get that out and also
All
do
the
it,
contractors know, of the engineers, and
but the homeowners don't.
they can't get their plans approved without it.
Well,
With the
I
county.
think having that information up front.
Yeah, it doesn't
helps
hurt to
people
send out the
make better
information.
decisions.
But when they come and get the paper from us, they start building again, and all that stuff's with it, right?
Should be, if I can ever get John in here. So, together with me, I'm supposed to be here on Monday.
Yeah, we tend to give them flow information and a will serve letter, knowing that things could or might change between now and the time we really start to use water, but
Might be
we'll
time
have to firm that up.
Yeah, I think we need to get that information all put together and get it out of here.
Doesn't work.
Wouldn't hurt to put it in the
Yeah, this is,
Plymouth online news either.
well, just a newsletter from the GM would suffice.
Well, the more information it gets out. the better.
Sure. What was next on that list? Insurance. We don't have much to
Nothing there.
report there. We did receive a few more insurance checks from Gladfelder as far as for reimbursement for fuel on the pump, and that's about it.
Okay.
So let's see, anything more on that fire station and equipment? Bob and Susan.
I think it's
Hey, regarding equipment, Jeff, just to verify, okay, Danny Wright and Lucas Greasy and myself, we're leaving at 6 a.m. on Sunday to go pick up that Type 1 engine and the rescue ambulance from San Ramon. We're
Right.
bringing it up. So I want to make sure we have that contract and we signed it, and Einhorn reviewed it, signed it. Thank you. And then Jeff, you witnessed it. We have that all together. Do we have, I just want to make sure that we have, those are listed under insurance for us to bring back up on Sunday. The VIN numbers, license plate numbers are all in that contract.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get a hold of Amanda.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
coming in the office tomorrow, and I'll follow up on that, any particulars on that with you tomorrow when I come in.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll bring those up here, and then once we get them up here, then we'll figure out the items for sale and move forward on selling of having the board approve selling of the surplus equipment and how to go
Yeah.
about doing that.
Yeah,
That'll be the
we'll,
last of the equipment that we will have been getting from basically donations from other fire departments. And I do have to have those 2 checks for $1 to give to them on Sunday to complete the transaction.
yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Okay. Let's go down our little list there and see. Reconstruction. Your 50/50 grant with CAL FIRE, you're staying on top of that, I guess, Mr. Orange.
Yeah, on Tuesday, we had a couple of our new members showed up, and everybody that showed up for our meeting on Tuesday, I got the measurements of their clothes, and I'll be making a few more phone calls of the sizes, and that's for the 50/50 grant. And then we'll be making a little extra inventory in there to cover the people. So yeah, I'm on top of that, and we're working on it. We're scrambling to put together turnouts for them. So we got a couple of people outfitted. Quincy Fire said they would help us with any turnouts we need for the training. The Fire Academy starts on Saturday, and we have 5 new firefighters attending it, and that's for 6 consecutive Saturdays. So we're really excited about getting that going. But what it is showing is where we're short on our turnout gear and fire suppression gear. But that'll help. That'll all go in the 50/50 grant.
Okay. And so with your 50/50 grant, you're going to turn towards turnouts instead of the uniforms that you had kind of pre-planned on in Chico?
No. Chico, I'm still going with them. Wildland. We're going to get a couple sets of turnouts. Turnouts are basically $3,500 each. I think we're going to spend approximately $13,000 on Wildland gear. 2 sets of pants and 2 sets of shirts. Wildland is roughly $1,000 per person, and we're going to be right around 13-14 people in the fire department. So everybody's going to get Wildland gear for the summer, and then we'll hopefully have the money that's left over. We'll get 2 sets of turnouts. That's what,
Okay.
that's what my plan is working. I'm getting the sizes for everybody.
All right. So from the donation from the county and from the hospital district towards the fire hall, is that still a plan?
It is, once we get our building plans, we have an approximate cost, and we will enter in negotiations and figure out what to go from there. As we know, the county received several $1 million in COVID funds, and I see no reason why maybe we could not apply for some of those COVID funds to go to our fire department and the ambulance because of the medical issue, the interaction that goes on there, and I'm hoping that that can be received. But that's those discussions going to have to be held with board of supervisors in a formal setting down the line.
Well, so do you want
moving on
to?
that? It kind of plans on our planning and our blueprints, and once we have our blueprints, we have that, get approximate costs, and we'll figure out and see how much we can ask for. Talking to Adam, he was saying that there's also some possibility of some grants to even go help cover us on that too. And those specific parts, I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't met with him to find out what he's talking about.
Those ARPA funds can also be used for our infrastructure, water, sewer infrastructure. So that would be good to request some of that, knowing the situation we're in with water, sewer damages. Getting the county to fund some of that through ARPA would be good. That's that same round of funding.
Yeah. The way I'm looking at it is once we get our blueprints and plans, we have that in place, we'll have a better idea how much it's going to cost, and then we'll move forward from there. How much we're going to be short, or if we have enough, or how much they're going to contribute, we'll see. We'll find out.
Sure. Okay. I don't know what more you want to talk about now. That's pretty much it for the action plan. Unless you want to address some of this other.
No, that stuff's just status quo.
I don't have the action plan in front of me, Jeff, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's the non-FEMA projects like the $440,000 Irwin grant. Adam and I sat in on a meeting today with Irwin, Tracy Ferguson, and kind of went over it's some interesting information. And I sent you those emails so you all can take a look at the packet that was included with that. There's some interesting information on water systems. Like in Taylorsville, there's 9 water systems. And so they talk about there's grant funds for possibly management and us kind of possibly getting involved there with certain things, just because it's more efficient and easier for us as far as testing and that sort of thing goes.
Should be one system.
Yeah, that's what's kind
The
of.
only other thing I'll say, Jeff, I'll bring up, and part of our main part of our meeting with Steve with the OES yesterday was for upcoming contract with discussions kind of with the Forest Service and with OES for them. If we were to go on, if another fire like this happened in the future around here, or if we're called to help another agency, we're going to have all that paperwork all dialed in and ready to go and squared away. Where in the past that's been an issue, but we spent quite a bit of time, and that will be in the upcoming board packet, the information, and will be a resolution for that to be approved, the contract that we have with it. So that'll be coming up in the next meeting. Well, I'll talk more about it then.
Sure. And I'll have to put on a motion there for, I know GM Cox wants to take you to the California Rural Water Conference. And so on the April 7th meeting, I'll have to get you to pass that because it's out of state. Crosses the Nevada state line. And we can't spend money without passing that resolution to authorize you to spend money outside the state. So
So we'll have a couple of resolutions in for that then. One for the power contract and one for this one.
Yeah. So we'll prepare that for April 7th.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else on the action plan?
No, the rest is just ongoing.
Yeah. I know that legislative days will be important if any of you can go to legislative days and go beg your legislature for money would be a good thing to do.
So that we could all get dressed up in ash. and
Uh-huh.
skin dyed
You know,
red
take
and
some black
hair
sticks with you and some gray dirt. I'm sure it'll be really good. Okay, Mr. Chair, we're going to move on to number 6 on the agenda item is the Plumas Bank signature card. We have a need to remove an officer, Director Kaylee Bentz from the signature card. So I'll seek a motion to get that done.
Make a motion that we
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Roger seconded it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, on the second part of that one, we're adding Director Carpenter to the signature card at Plymouth Bank for the IVCSD, and we'll seek a separate motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Hey, you have a motion?
Director Cherry's made that motion,
second.
and Doran is second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
All right,
motion carries.
there you go.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Okay. And we know who gets the motion for adjournment.
I'm going to defer to her.
Oh, are you? Okay, very good.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
That's
Good
right.
night.
Thank you.
We're good. Thank you. I'll be there in person next time. Sorry, I was in Chico all day today. Had a couple different doctor appointments, so I couldn't get back up sooner. So I'll be there next time, and well, we have a general meeting next week. So there we go. It'll be a lot of stuff. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So is Christie okay? Something going on with her?
I haven't heard from her.
I guess she talked to Bob a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're still alive.
Uh-oh.
Jeff,
Yeah, hold
you're
on.
still alive.
I got it. Thought I ended it. Well, he's catching the